shakele love. This love when I wanna get another one, I go take and do waiting I love, waiting you love, oh. No be waiting I love, oh. Waiting I love, I go do what we love, I go. Go no be vodka. This time on you change, but when I know the ways that.
You've been gone, it's an empty home. Come on back where you really belong. You are always welcome home, welcome home. You've been kept down for much too long. Stand up, please, and say I am free. Don't forget you are welcome home, welcome home. Come with me on this happy trip back to the promised land. On this happy trip back to the promised land.
Hello, good evening, and welcome to another edition of Conversation Beyond Borders. I'm your host, Kiki, and we are streaming live on HYT African TV across all social media platforms, including my personal page, Kiki Mami Ekia Ayete. Today's conversation is going to be fireworks in the studio. And I want you to, because we are in the month of love, I want you to share the broadcast. I want you to invite your friends, invite your family to join in today's broadcast. I have three amazing panelists that I can't wait to introduce to you. Today, we are going to talk about all the trending issues in Ghana, in the economy, what is happening around the world. We are going to talk about Kennedy Japan. We'll be talking about the president showcasing the fugu. We are going to talk about the political monetization. It's going to be a lot of fireworks in the studio tonight. And before we do that, and before I introduce my guest and my panelist, let's go for a quick commercial break. We'll be right back, and you stay with me.
After a long day at work, there's one thing still on your mind. I need to send money home, and fast. With just one tap on the PayAngel app, you unlock your true power. Zero fees, lightning fast transfers, maximum impact. You soar across cities and oceans, faster, safer, stronger, powered by PayAngel, where every transfer is a mission of love. Back home, your family feels it instantly. Joy, hope, and pride. Because when you send with PayAngel, you're not just sending money, you're sending care. Be the hero back home with PayAngel. Zero fees, instant transfers, maximum impact.
And thanks for joining us. Today I have with me, we have three respective individuals that are joining their political party, or they are representing their political party today. I have here Mr. David A. Beckham. He is the PPP Secretary for UK and Ireland. And I have Mr. Ransford Echiampon. He's the CEO of Ransack Constructions and also Tim Kennedy A. Japan. And then we have Mr. Roger T.D. Wells. He is the NDC Communication Team member. Thank you, gentlemen, and welcome to Conversation Beyond Borders.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Let me start with Mr. David. Mr. David, for context, can you tell us who you are?
Okay, right. Well, I'm David Akins Beckwing, and I'm the PPP Secretary for UK and Ireland, and also somebody who is quite vocal in the Ghanaian politics, speaking about things, ongoing issues, and also try here and there whenever I can to try and advocate for good policies, really. So that's me in a nutshell.
Thank you. I just want to start with you. What do you think about political monetization that is happening in Ghana, not only in Ghana, but across West Africa? It looks like people who have more money kind of influence elections when it's due. What is your take on it?
That situation is quite unfortunate, really, because if we don't take time, not if we don't take time, it has already ruined our politics, because we are not selecting the people who are capable in doing the things that we want them to do, but rather people who are financially influential. And if care is not taken, it will get to a point that the whole society will be completely destroyed, because people will end up doing things that would favor them rather than do things for Ghana as a whole. It's quite unfortunate that we have allowed the system to shape itself that way. I would have thought the EC would have put a firm fist on it and try to put some legislations in place, or even enforce the existing legislations that allows political parties to be accountable to whatever expenditure they put forward towards their campaigns. If you take it into context, Ghana, for example, the small political parties, for like my party, the PPP, and all other small parties, we can never be able to compete with them, because financially we are not as strong as the two big parties, the NPP and the NDC, because they've got all the resources, they've got the human capital, they've got the financial capital, and they've got the connections and everything. So they can always and will always try to manipulate elections in their favor, because they've got a strong hand. I think it's about time that the EC and the government as a whole put measures and policies in place. If Ghana says, the NDC says they are doing a reset, then I think it's about time the EC put some legislations in place to give equal ground to all political parties to start from fresh. Because I tell you, in all these small political parties scattered about, there are a lot of people who have great ideas that can help build the country Ghana. But because they got no voice, because they've got no financial power, because they've got no connections in government and in other places, these voices are not heard. And until we are able to hear the voices of each and every Ghanaian, be it young, be it old, be it physically challenged, whoever, we will not be able to get the best quality of minds to build the country. You see, because if we have the voices of everyone, then we can determine, all right, this person or these group of people are well endowed enough to get into positions to do certain things that they're supposed to do to help the country. So monetization in as far as it is in our election, it's not right. It's not good, and we need to nip it in the bud. We need to stop it.
Thank you very much. Mr. Ranford, can you introduce yourself as well and also express your views on political monetization?
Right. So my name is Ransford Ichampo. I'm an MPP and a strong lover and a believer of Kenya Japan. Yes. With monetization in elections in Ghana, I believe that over the period, it's something that everyone is really concerned about. And to add to what my brother David was saying, this has led to us not being able to choose leaders who have the capacity to serve us in the way they should. You realize that a lot of people right now in this current government or in this current parliament are there not because they are competent enough, but they are there because they had the funds to finance their campaign. Oh yes, and I stand on that because there are so many of them. Even if you go down to their constituencies, you realize that the general populace did not really like them for who they are or for what they could do, but for the fact that they could dish out some monies to them at a particular time. And it also boils down to the fact that most of these people who are influenced by money are not earning anything in this country. So, I mean, the person is already thinking of what to feed on. So if you come to them telling them that, oh, I'll give you 500 cedis, go vote for me. I mean, he's been working for like a month and he hasn't gotten 500 and you're giving him that money. And I also believe that a lot of people are beginning to lose trust in people in high positions. Why do I say this? These people come to them when they want power. They give out these little incentives to them, this little monies to them. After they win power, now they even block access to them. You are not even able to reach out to these people when you want to. And I believe these are some of the things that has contributed to people taking monies on the spot and walking away because they feel like at the end of the day, this is the only time I have to get something from this man or from this woman. If I don't get it now, I'm not going to get it again. It has gone a long way to destroy so many things that could have been done in this country. People are occupying positions that they are not supposed to occupy, not because they are competent or have the capacity to, but just because they could pay their way out. That is the reason why all these things are happening. And I believe that moving forward, there are certain reforms that should be put in place, especially by the EC to guide all these processes. Because if we continue like this, then we are going to continue electing leaders who are not fit for purpose. We are going to continue electing leaders who are just going to be buying the conscience of people for their own selfish interests. And I believe if we really want this country to develop to the stage that we want it to, trust me, all these things will have to find a way to curb this so that we can move forward as a country and do very well. These are my thoughts. Yeah.
Thank you so much for your submission. Mr. Roger. Yes, I would love you to also introduce yourself and then you air your view on political monetization.
Okay, thank you so much. First and foremost, I would extend my greetings to all our listeners and then also extend greetings to His Excellency the President, John Dramani Mahama, and appreciate him for the work that he is doing, and also acknowledge the Vice President, the first female who has achieved this status in Ghana's political history, the first female. And then I think it's a door opener and a lot more females will become great in this country, hoping that in the near future we'll have a female become the president of the country. And then I would also use this opportunity to extend my greetings to the party hierarchy, especially to the party chairman, wherever he is, whatever he is doing. May God grant him the strength, the wisdom, the knowledge and understanding to administer the various vision and plans he has for the great NDC party. I am Roger T.D. Wills, a national communication team member of the NDC. And with respect to the subject matter, monetization has become a canker to Ghanaian politics. But then it would interest us to know that when the issue of monetization is brought onto the table, it is not something that started during, I mean, the late President Jerry John Rawlings's time. There have been research, and then it's all over the internet that has proven that it started under the regime of the former President John Ajikun Kufuor, and this has over the period increased, and then the effect of the monetary practices or injecting money into politics to make sure candidates make their way is something that has come to eat Ghana's democracy. And if we do not take pragmatic steps to curb it, it will go a long way to hurt us as a nation. Now, from political perspective, people have defined politics as who gets what, when, and how. And politicians of today have always want to use the how as a means for survival. But as I said earlier on, that we can trace Ghana's monetization into politics to the era of people when NDC was in government from 92 to 2000, because politics was driven by ideology, party, compatriot faithfulness, driven by passion, charisma, and the interest of people to serve. We didn't see a lot of money being shown in the political sphere. Now, around the early 2000s, we had cash for votes. We heard about inducing people to rally behind the NPP. The aftermath of that, we got to realize that you need to pump a lot of money into your candidature to be able to attain the parliamentary seats or to obtain a parliamentary seat. And that over the period had increased and is something we need to put a stop to as a country. Now, not going so far, just around 2023, in the NPP primaries, there are footages that you could hear loyal, big NPP guys making statements of they distributing money to enhance Baumia's victory. A typical example is Barney Champon. Barney Champon said during his campaign tour that he was the single most influential when it comes to financing Baumia during the 2023 primaries. And he went to the extent of saying that he paid $1,500 to each delegate. $1,500 to each delegate. I become sad hearing things like this. Multiply 1,000 by the number of delegates, and you will see the seriousness of the amount of money. So, if such a person wins the seat, gets an appointment, what do we expect from him? Not probity and accountability. And I'm not surprised the NPP has built their political slogan around property owning and creation for themselves. Because when they come to power, they effectively try to loot state resources, create avenue where they can siphon money to satisfy their self-centered parochial moribund mundane. And I say this to the over the period, they have been known for trying to use money to induce election. I wouldn't take you back. We all know about the by-election at Asen North, Atukwesi's constituency, Honorable Atukwesi's constituency. When we were going for that by-election, the NPP sent money shared to the populace, but we went with a message. At the end of the day, the grassroots took the money, but they decided to vote for the create NDC. And we had the victory. When we were going into the main election, they thought they could use money to win the election. But we, the NDC, have over time past stood our grounds when it comes to getting the interest of the people, convincing them of our policies, for them falling in love with our ideologies. All these things have come a long way to enhance and build the NDC party, not monetization. Yes, of course, some way, somehow, we would have individuals trying to infiltrate the system, trying to get their ways through. Yes, just like a popular adage that goes in our local language, if you be a Mensawi, you would get one or two people who would want to swindle their way through with money. But we can't say for a fact that the NDC practice monetization as a hallmark. But with NPP, there are research documents. If you go onto Google now, you will get research documents. So I would say that this is a canker. But the issue is, how do we see the monetization? For me, I categorize them in three ways: the electoral market, the public contract market, and the appointment market. When we talk about the electoral market, what I'm talking about is the people who vote, like the people who would have to give the note to their leaders. When we induce them, it affects the turnout. We might not be able to bring qualified and competent people, just like what my brother said. We will not be able to get the appropriate people who can reason beyond human reasonable doubt, and then make sure that policies that are on the floor of parliament are things that will enhance our life. The other thing
Roger,
is,
sorry to come in, but we have the Political Parties Act. Is
yeah,
that not enforced to ensure that all this is not happening?
okay, good. Apart from the Political Parties Act, we have some legal or constitutional provisions that will make sure that we check all the system, the inflow of funds. But we are living in a human society. A lot of the laws we have are not properly enforced. I would have come there. These are things that we should be calling for as a nation. These are issues that we need to put our feet on the ground to make sure that they are properly enforced, and people do not go contrary to that. Because even with the political party as a whole, how many times have we heard that they have conducted a forensic audit on their funds, how campaigns are run, where they had those funding, to what limits are individuals giving those support or funds, which accounts, how many of these funds came through bank transfers, how many were cash, what limits, what amount can you give in cash, what amount should be given by transfer. So you could see that the system itself is porous. So we are not able to ascertain or put those check and balances in there to help monitor or to help rally these constitutional provisions we have. So one way or the other, even though we have the policies or we have the constitutional provisions or the acts, we are not able to
Roger,
enforce
you've
it.
got 30 seconds more to wrap up for
We are
me.
not able to enforce it properly because we do not have the necessary resources with respect to human
Thank you.
resource, with respect to
Thank you
implementation
very
and
much.
all other things. So I would say that this is a canker. We need to relook and then retool the system to fight.
Thank you so much. Thank you very much for your humble
Thank
submission.
you.
Mr. David, let me come to you again. So recently, the NPP nominated Baumia 3 elections to be the flag bearer of the NPP. From a neutral standpoint, where do you think the future of the NPP lies?
Oh, well, thank you very much. That's a big question. The NPP in itself, at the moment, that they are at a crossroads. For me, a neutral on the side, the first thing I would say is certain people need to be kicked out of the party completely because their actions, their utterances, and the way they are conducting themselves, if the party, the NPP as a party, want to go forward, then they should be drastic to remove certain people out of the way in order for their policy to become enticing to the public once again, because now people have no faith or trust in them at the moment. But I also believe the NPP is a good political party. Looking at our Ghana, our system, if not for anything, the NPP and the NDC are the two big parties who have shaped our political path at large until now. Though I would say not for very, very positive reasons, but they are the two big parties that need to stand in order to shape our political path, really. So the NPP needs to prune the party, need to kick certain people out, need to restructure and start all over again. Now, with the candidates that they have selected, I believe he's the best candidate for them as a party. As to whether he will be able to convince people to win an election, I cannot tell. But looking at all the people that contested with him, I think he is the best fit. If you listen to him well, you will see that he's got something that he wants to push through. But the party in itself fight against him. And so until that party begins to straighten their path, remove certain people out, and restructure, I don't see any good coming out of them into 2028. Because from the way the Ghanaian politics is, when they have confidence in one party, it takes at least 8 years for that confidence to go away. And if NDC follow previous examples of how they've ruled, then potentially, if NPP would have anything at all, that would be 2032. And if they can discount the next election and say, listen, we're going to build ourselves until 2032 to try and convince the people so they can vote for us, then they have to do that. At the minute, I believe the NPP, excuse my language, they are just running about like headless chickens. They're just latching on to anything and saying anything that sometimes you sit back and wonder, are they even thinking through what they are talking about or saying? Because some of the things that they are shouting and making noise about, the beginning, the genesis of those things are their own legacies that they've recently left behind. And so if you have done something that hasn't worked and another person is taking over in just about a year, and you're out there shouting and making noise about it, why did you not fix it if you knew how to do it? So they don't know what, all right, thank you. They seem not to know what they need to hang on to build a point against the NDC or any other party to break it down. They're just throwing things widely in the media space, trying to see if they can get some traction. I think they need to reform and reform properly.
Thank you very much, Mr. David. Ransford, do you agree with what Mr. David is saying? And also, do you think... Okay, please go ahead.
Oh, no. Go ahead. Finish your question, and I can...
Yeah. Do you agree with what Mr. David is saying? And do you also think, as a member of Team Kennedy Agyapong, do you think at some point, do you believe that the election was somehow manipulated to select Bawumia as the flag bearer of the NPP?
Okay, thank you. So, to some extent, I agree with what Mr. David said. To some extent, I mean, when he came in by saying there are certain people within the party that needs to be kicked out first, in order to keep things in order. I feel that's a very, very good point that he made. I mean, looking at Baumia per se as a person, he is a fine gentleman. And I've always been of the view that yes, he has the capacity to rule a nation. He has some brilliant ideas and all that. But there are some characteristics of a leader that for me, I think he does not possess, and that's the problem. Because for him to have come out to say that, oh, he was just a driver's mate, and then if you are a driver's mate and your driver is driving carelessly and you decide to sit in the same vehicle, when you have an accident, you end up losing your own life. So logically, as a driver's mate, if your driver is driving and you feel what he's doing isn't right, it's either you go down from the vehicle or you find a way to advise him on it. And so for him to have not done that, and then, things went bad and everything, yes, he is to be blamed for some of the things that happened, that caused our defeat in the 2020 elections. I mean, not withstanding that, I would say that with the elections that were held or the primaries, I wouldn't want to say that the system was manipulated because as MPP, we are done with our elections. And at this point, we are looking forward to, uniting all of us together so that we can move forward and come into the 2028 election. So I wouldn't want to say the system was manipulated. But as we all know, elections are elections. And in this country, we know what goes into elections, especially when a particular candidate is a favorite. Also, I would like to touch on the fact that the very moment they decided to do the top-bottom approach was the very moment they destroyed everything, or they destroyed our chances of coming into power 2028. Because whatever happened back in 2024 or during the elections was actually a leadership problem. The MPP has some serious leadership problem right now. And if we are still going to have the same people in place managing the affairs of the MPP, then it's just like handing over power to the NDC again in 2028, which, I mean, we are all going to fight hard, put in the work to ensure that we win the elections. But we have to be realistic to some extent. We have to be realistic because if the same people that were in power, the same people that had positions, the same people who had the say in the party are still occupying certain positions right now, it's just to say that the same things are going to be done over and over again. And so for me, going forward, I think that we still have the opportunity to change certain leaders, if that is even going to work at all. Because right now you see flyers going around and there are certain people who are vying for certain positions. And I ask myself, imagine we have such people in certain positions. It means the MPP is done. Because I don't understand how a certain chairman or a certain man wants to become a national chairman. I begin to ask myself, how would this man be able to express himself in an intellectual conversation, or how would this man be able
Are you trying to underestimate what he can bring to the
I,
party?
I am not trying to underestimate what he brings to the party. I mean, he has done a lot for the party, but I believe that everyone has a role to play at every point in time. This position that he is vying for is a very sensitive position. Apparently, he is going to be the leader of the party. Whatever he says is final. Looking at the set of things that he has done in the past, certain utterances that he's made in the past, I begin to ask myself, is this someone who can unite the party? Is this someone who can be in charge of affairs? Is this someone who will be able to put in place certain policies that will help the party as a whole? These are questions I begin to ask myself. Also, you go back and you realize that this same person has a lot of, back and forth with individuals in the party. So the question is he still going to be able to get the support that he needs, or would he be able to go down to the people to solicit for support or to find support that he needs for the party? That is where the major problem is. Because politics, they say, is a game of numbers. And so just going into this primaries, you realize that most of the things some people said right now has created some enmity within the party. And if we don't have a unifier, somebody who did not come out to declare his stand on somebody coming out to occupy such a position, I don't understand how we are going to be able to create that unity that we are preaching. And even up to today, you still hear people say certain things and you ask yourself, are these people ready to unite these parties
Mr. Ransford,
as we
you've got 3 seconds more to wrap up for me. Thank you.
Exactly. So, like I said, with the elections and all that, yes, I wouldn't want to, emphatically state that the system was manipulated. No, that wouldn't be fair. We are done with the elections. A flag bearer has been chosen. We are all looking forward to support him. But as human as we have our own reservations, and I hope that moving forward, whichever leader that we find will be able, in a way, to unite the party together so that we can stand and face the NDC in
Thank you very much. Thank you so much. Mr. Roger, yes. Baumia being the flag bearer for the NPP, where do you see the future of the NPP in 2028?
For me, I think MPP bringing Baumia back is like a recycling failure. And then, to what ends do I say this? We've had Baumia being the vice president of Ghana, a man that Akufo-Addo presented to us as the economic messiah, a man full of economic intellect who was going to change the economic fortunes of Ghana to give Ghanaians a very comfortable life. When he was given the nod, he came announcing his economic management team. He gave fundamental economic principles. It is Baumia who dollarized Ghana's political economy, indicated that when the fundamentals are weak, the exchange rate would expose you. Baumia gave economic gimmicks, and he couldn't show for any of those lyrical analysis he made. Ghanaians struggled under the ex-Baumia Akufo-Addo administration. People died. In fact, he has written his testimonial. So if NPP sits in the room, cook a candidate, and presents the candidate to Ghanaians, it means that NPP, first and foremost, did not learn from the past. They didn't learn their lessons. Because presenting Baumia is like a doctor or a pharmacist prescribing the same drug that caused the sickness to you as an antidote. Because let's take a clue from this. An inflation from 15% to 54% by an economist. Dollar from 3.8 to 18 by an economist. After causing such a mess, what trust would Ghanaians have in you to give you an economy that is now stable, an economy that is now resilient, an economy that is now working?
Are you not being too confident because he can actually do his homework well and face you in 2028?
Now, homework, we are talking about fundamentals. Homework. Is there any other
He can
economy
really
that
restructure his fundamentals, Mr. Roger?
It's not, running a government is not about organizing lectures. In fact, this is the time we needed his lectures the most. As a matter of fact, I am willing to even pay for Accra International Conference Center for him. And as a matter of fact, I'll pay for the media personnel to come and cover so that he can run his economical, lyrical analysis for Ghanaians to listen. Because he said, if the fundamentals are weak, the exchange rate would expose you. So now, to what extent would he come to stand before Ghanaians and preach the economy? What are they going to campaign
30 seconds, Mr. Roger.
As a matter of fact, if they should have presented Kennedy Japan, at least he would appeal to the masses. That would have given us a very tough race. But as it stands now, if NDC should present a branch chairman, if NDC should present any candidate, including me, I will beat Baumia.
Wow, you are very confident, and thank you very much for that submission. Dear viewers, let's go for a quick commercial break, and we'll be right back.
that dream of studying and working abroad has been made much accessible to everyone, including you. So worry less about how you're going to get there, because we always make it happen. This is StepFinders Ghana Limited. We offer a highly professional guidance and support system, both in your university and visa application process. StepFinders Ghana Limited is a highly trusted agency of the University of the West of Scotland, one of the largest modern universities offering a range of academic, social, and sporting facilities. You can apply for undergraduate, master's and PhD in business and creative industries, education, social sciences, computing, engineering, physical sciences, health, and life sciences. Come through StepFinders, and for your studies, you get yourself a laptop or a £500 gift voucher. Call on +233 598 4888 04. WhatsApp on +44 7404 711 049. Send us an email or visit our website for more information.
Welcome back, and thanks for staying with us. Mr. Roger, I want to start with you this time.
Okay, sure.
Spokesperson for United Party, Solomon Owusu, made a certain statement that the NDC government is pampering corrupt NPP officials. What is your take on this?
Yeah, thank you so much. I think his statement is not far-fetched. If I say his statement is not far-fetched, the Ghanaian people, I mean the people of Ghana, are calling for probity and accountability. And even though the law is taking its course, and then we are prosecuting or trying people who have misused and abused public funds, I think Ghanaians are falling out of patience. Their blood is boiling or are boiling, and then they expect that we speed up with things. As a matter of fact, I am of the personal view that things are delaying because we promised the lovely people Operation Recover all the loot, and the government is actually working hand in hand with the agencies to make sure that the recovery is achieved. But you know, Ghanaians want to see action. They want to see results. As a matter of fact, if I entrust something into your care, I don't want to listen to the excuses or the explanations you would have to give. All I need to hear is results and see the facts that you have produced results. So whatever Solomon Owusu is saying, I think it's his observation, and watching him closely and how he criticized absolutely, I think is a critique in the right direction. And what we need to do as a government and as a party is to embrace such a critique and speed up the processes to make sure that justice takes its course. That
Thank
way,
you.
we will gain the hearts of the lovely people of Ghana.
Thank you very much. Mr. Ransford, are you here
Yeah.
with me?
Yeah, I'm here now.
So when the NDC came into power, we heard about oral. They did a lot of works to ensure that certain people that they believe hold certain, are being brought to books. And now I don't know what is happening, but what do you think of Solomon Wusu's suggestion saying that the NDC is actually pampering some of these NPP corrupt officials?
Okay, so I think that it still goes back to this political financing and all that we were discussing earlier on. You see, sometimes the way we might see things is not really what it is inside there. There are people who have contributed largely to people's political ambition or people's political careers or political journey. And so you realize that the NDC, when they came into power, had so much energy, especially with this oral thing. They were so, they had so much energy. They were pushing that a lot of people were brought to book. But we realized that after a year, all we are seeing is just talking, and no action in particular has been taken. Can we also go back to say that probably most of the pronouncements that they made or most of the things that they said about these people were not actually facts, but they were only statements or political statements to win political power. Can we also go back to say that? Because what is the problem right now? If you think that you have so much evidence backing your claims as to somebody has taken public funds, do you really need to go back and forth over this? No. People need to be brought to book. That is the only way this country can develop. If we are going to continue pampering people, if we are going to continue acting like, oh, some people have the power to do certain things and go freely, but some people do not, then we are not going anywhere as a country. So for me, I think Solomon's, criticism and everything that he said about Oral is true. And it's hard time the NDC. Personally, I'm MPP, but trust me, I think Mahama is doing something great for this country. And if he follows or if he continues like this, I believe that after 4 years, he wouldn't have to say so much to win power in 2028. Because if you look at the candidate we are presenting at a political party, he is actually relying solely on the performance of Mahama, to even come out with his policies. So for me, I think that one of the things that the general populace we have so much into right now is bringing these people who have hurt this country so much to book. And so it's hard time the NDC speed up processes, to either prosecute these people or, find ways that we can put these people to book. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. David, what's your take on the issue at hand?
Okay. For me, it goes back to the same NPP NDC way of doing things. Over the years, when NPP is in power, they go, we're going to prosecute you, throw you in jail and all that. And it never happens. When push comes to shove, they just prosecute one person to say, oh, we did something. And it's the same way NDC is doing at the minute. I see it more talk rather than action, because if there is proper evidence from once you put together the oral and the information you gathered on all that, by now people should be in jail. But all we hear is press conference after press conference after press conference, and they end up jeopardizing whatever case they have. For example, somebody like Ofori-Atta that they are trying to extradite. Now the FBI have thrown away the Interpol red list. They've thrown it out. So now he's going to seek for political asylum to say that he's been persecuted for who he is. Potentially, it could be that there is something genuinely against him, because for me, I see it this way. There are people in the NPP who have been called, who have gone to the NIB, who have gone to UOCO, and they are still back home, some on bail, some just walking free. So if you are so confident that you have nothing ongoing, you wouldn't leave yourself in ICE detention. You would be in Ghana to say, look, this is me. I put everything there before you. Scrutinize, let me go my way. But insofar as he's trying to hide away and not wanting to come to Ghana, I can say there's something there. But then again, the NDC, before Ofori-Atta left Ghana, knew he was flying out. According to Kisia Jabe, he knew the man was flying out on a certain date, and the investigation was ongoing from about October, November, thereabouts. So they knew he was a flight risk, and they allowed him to go, which tells you that they make these noises for the people to believe that, oh, when NPP come, they're going to arrest these people. When NDC come, they're going to arrest these people. It doesn't work. They just making a fool out of us, just making noise and just showing to the people as if they've got something to do, but they are not really ready to fight any corruption at all.
Thank you.
I will tell you, if anybody pays money to win vote, yeah, there to get their money back. So by any means, we may not be able to confidently mention people's names, but then you can put one or two people out and say, this person, I knew this person before he went into politics. And now he's so well off. Somebody who probably has never worked before. How did he make all that money? I remember one time I watched Ken Japan say something. It's like some people come to him and he was like, "Ubi oba sheni shoe nene belt." I feel wabenya sikase. Where did that person get that money? You understand? So they are not ready to prosecute anyone. They're just making noise. It's just making noise to let people
Thank you very much.
know that they want to do something.
Mr. Davis, still stay with me because I need your thought on something. We are going to touch a little bit on Galamsey from a neutral standpoint. What do you think, if you were in power, what policy would you implement to ensure that Galamsey is being done properly?
Galamsey, very interesting, very very interesting. I love this one. You know something? With the Galamsey fight, the way we are going, we're never going to win. We are never going to win because besides the political people, the political factor in it, big guys in the society are in it. Chiefs and kings are in it. The people in the communities are in it. And the way Ghanaians are, until we change our policy completely, it is never going to change because we are not going to be able to influence the people who are doing it to stop. We are not going to be able to fix the land and the waters and whatnot because the people are not ready to stop. I believe the only way we can make the Galamsey fruitful for Ghana and also fruitful for the communities that we live in is to look at other models that have been done elsewhere around the world, because there are several countries. I'll use example, for example, America, Australia. They do a lot of small-scale mining. People go and buy a concession, they go and they mine, and they never pollute the waters. There is technology out there to mine, to do this Galamsey properly in an organized manner where people will feel confident that they are doing it and doing it properly and not hiding and going in the cover of darkness to do all sorts and to ruin our waters and then start importing water. It is in shambles. Look at the expose Joy FM did recently where people in the municipal assemblies are actually charging money and paying into government coffers. People who are supposed to be fighting against the Galamsey. The whole system, the institutions, the governance, the society, everybody is complicit. The whole Galamsey fight is already compromised. It's already on a back foot before it even starts. So I think we need to sit back and tell people, listen, we are not going to stop you doing this, but we are going to make you do it in an eco-sustainable way, in a way that will protect the environment, in a way that will protect society, in a way that will bring more money, in a way that will be able to trace the gold, so that when the gold board says we are selling gold, we can trace it all the way down to the very first pit that was done.
Thank you very much.
One sec. If you watch like on Discovery, there's a program that they used to show, Gold Rush. People that go and get allotments and mine for gold. And this is a program that people, TVs, take cameras and follow them, even though that is the same Galamsey thing that they are doing and making money, but they have cameras following them, and it's so interesting to watch. They're not destroying waters. So we need to take a cue from other countries that do it and do it properly.
Thank you very much. Mr. Roger.
Hello.
Yeah, you are in power at the moment. What are some of the initiatives that is being taken at these sites to ensure that the water bodies are being maintained and not polluted?
Okay, thank you. First and foremost, what I would say is the government has taken pragmatic steps to curb the situation. When it comes to the LI that gave mandate for people to mine in the forest reserve, it has been repealed. There has been development of geofencing of the water bodies and then some of the forest reserves. And one other thing we've done is tracking the excavators. So if the excavators are moving from the area or the jurisdiction that they are assigned to work, it indicates or gives a signal to the Mineral Commission and then they shut it down. One other thing the government has also prevented is issuing of licenses. We all know, and we will attest to the fact that when the MPP was in government, they gave more licenses than it has ever existed. They gave more than 2,000 licenses. When we came to power, we put a halt to that. We constituted a committee to look into that, and those that were not were freshly issued and did not go through the proper processes were revoked. As a matter of fact, 180 plus licenses that were given to or concessions that were given to people who were supposed to mine along the river banks were revoked. Aside that, we banned the importations of excavator. We need specific documentations and specific jobs to allow people to import excavators. As a matter of fact, under the ex-Bawumia Akufo-Addo government, the third most imported commodity into the country was excavator, and I put that on record. As a matter of fact, we have discouraged that if your excavator comes into the country, it will be seized when the proper or when the documentation are not properly done. You do not get the correct documentation before bringing the excavator into the country, it will be seized. When I say correct documentation, you need to justify what you are going to use it for. If it's a construction company, the machine will be tracked once it leaves that jurisdiction or that zone, or we see it closer to any water body, is going to be locked down. Aside that, the government has brought programs that will train this local indigenous.
Roger, sorry, can I interrupt you? Can I interrupt you there? All these things that you are saying, all these policies that you are saying that is being put in place, the tracking machines and whatever, the people who are in charge are complicit. So they're not going to track these things, even though the systems say they are going to be tracked. If these were going to work, Galamsey would have stopped. I don't think they are working. All these tracking geofencing areas, tracking excavators and 9 months going and burning champagnes and all these things. They're not working. It's about time we need to sit back and say, how do we approach this in a different way? Because we are using an iron fist to clamp it down, and the people are also revolted and finding innovative ways to do it. It will never work. Until we change, it would never work.
I get where you're coming from. But what I'm saying is, as we wait for the new interventionary measures, we need to be working. You get it? So if there are ideas that we have and we feel it would work, or if you have ideas that you feel would work, I think it would be in the right direction to communicate them so that we could all bring all our hands on deck and make sure we fight Galamsey, because it's not something that would only affect those who are in the country. It would affect all of us as a nation. As a matter of fact, when these poisonous chemicals enter individual skins, we don't know when our children are going to grow up and mingle with people from which region, from which community.
Thank you, Mr. Roger.
And we will inherit or we will intermarry.
Thank you, Mr. Roger. Your time is up. Mr. Ransford.
Yeah.
The NDC is just in is a year and a little bit. Don't you think that the public is judging them harshly on this Galamsey issue because the NPP has been in power for all these years and no initiatives were taken? What do you think? What do you think about the subject matter?
I wouldn't want to say that the NDC is being judged too quickly, because when they were opposition, they sounded and seemed to have, they made it look like they had all the solutions to the problem at hand right now. Now they are in power and they are saying they need some more time to put things in place. However, I would like to appreciate certain reforms that they've put in place now, like tracking of excavators and all that. I believe that this is a way to start and then build upon it moving forward. But there's one thing that we need to also understand, that if we don't enforce the law properly, because there are a lot of mining laws that govern mining in Galamsey and all that, the problem has got to do with the enforcement. And why do I say this? Recently, we've seen people being designated to these sites to go take care of people there, go arrest people and all that. The question is, how much are these people being paid? Now, if you hire somebody to go arrest a Galamseya and you are paying him 2,000 Ghana cedi, he gets to the site and the one mining the site is offering 20,000 Ghana cedis a week. Let's be human. What do you think is going to happen? Do you really think that that person, looking at his current situation, will reject such an amount and take 2,000 cedis because he says he loves Ghana? Yes, fine, you may love Ghana or whatever that you may think, but as realistic as possible, let's understand that the manner in which we resource our security agencies in this country is the reason why a lot of things are going on. We have to be intentional about these things. People who are risking their lives to protect the forest against Galamsey and all that need to be resourced properly, such that they know that if they are risking their life to do these things, at the end of the day, they are going to be earning something good. It also boils down to political financing. Most of these big guys who are mining in the forest now, one way or the other, funded certain political campaigns and all that. And the only way they felt they can make their money back is to mine, because these people are miners. And so the only way
they're very confident about, people supporting political, parties to come into power.
Oh yes, I mean, we've heard so many things. We've heard on TV people shouting, about power. Do you know how much money I spent to bring you to? We've heard all these things. Recently, I think 2-3 days ago, is it a DCU and MCE, secretly taking dues from these miners, collecting dues from these miners. If you're collecting dues from these miners, and the president is also doing all he can to make sure we kept the situation, how is this going to work? It's never going to work. So for me, I think it's the law enforcement that we need to work on. You cannot, take away Galamsey. That's quite impossible at this moment. But what we can do is to put in place systems that prevents them from destroying the water bodies and not reclaiming the lands. So why don't we assign professionals to these sites? Why don't we pay these professionals some good money such that when they get there and they are being bribed, they will reject these monies because they're earning some good money. Not to go make arrest, but be able to put in place or be able to enforce certain things on the grounds. I'm an environmentalist by education, so I understand what it takes to do land reclamation, making sure that the water bodies are brought back to life and all these things. These things take time. And if you're going to be able to do it, you need the right people. There are a lot of mining companies mining in the Chibis and all these things. I've had the opportunity to visit a few or even work with a few. You realize that they don't have these systems in place. You understand? They are just mining for mining's sake. They don't have no professional who is teaching them, okay, after mining, this is what we need to do to ensure that this water body is clean and all that. Because we are here thinking that we can stop Galamsey. How can you stop Galamsey? When the chiefs are involved, when the security agencies are involved, when political financiers are involved, you can't stop Galamsey completely. But you can put in place certain measures that controls the whole system. You understand? So that we don't end up destroying the environment and its natural state that we benefit from. Look at our water bodies right now. 2 days ago in Nungwa, people are opening taps and it's flowing.
3 seconds more, Mr. Ransford.
It's flowing very badly. So please, for me, I think it's the law enforcement that we need to work on. Also on licensing. Sometimes the processes that these miners go through to acquire license is also one of the reasons why they mine crazily. Because someone goes to just acquire licenses. Even without touching the grounds, he's paying so much money already. So when he's given the license and he goes, sometimes instead of going through the process, he says, no, I wouldn't go through this process because the license which I could have paid 15,000 cedis for, because of someone's selfish interest, I'll have to pay more. Some go to the extent of paying bribes and all that. So yes, they might as well just go solo and go behind a mine illegally. Because if I have to go through all this stress, so let's watch these issues of licensing as well.
Thank you very much. Dear viewers, let's go for a quick commercial break, and when we come back, we'll wrap up.
Afi biara mu no nipa mpempem a ɛwɔ akwantuom ɛma ne sika bɛfie bɛyɛ nneɛma bi te sɛ adansi ayaresa ho ka adesua ho ka efie sikatua aware ho ka ɛna eyie ɛne deɛ keka ho nanso ɔhaw kɛse a ɛwɔ wei mu nie kwan bɛn so na wofa ho ne sɛ botaye nti a woma ne sika no yɛde sɛ woma ne sika afa obi so de di saa adwuma wei nom no taa yɛ ayɛmhyehyɛ paa ɛtɔ da ɛkyɛ na ahotosoɔ biara ɛnni so Wei enti na Pay Angel eden hyehyɛ sonko aba sikamaniem a yɛto ne din direct to merchant remittance yɛtwa ne tia D2MR wei yɛ kwampa a wobɛtumi afa so ama ne sika ade ama ndwumako a wone wɔn di dwuma wɔ abra ɛmfa ɔdasani ana ntamgyina ni biara nsɛm na wakɔdi sika wobɛtumi afa D2MR so ama ne sika ama wadɔfoɔ saa hyehyɛ yi so boa ndwumako nketewa na paa wɔ D2MR so no wo siketua yɛ mprempren yɛngye wo hwee Yama wo abotayam se usika ekobia ewose eko na ekudi juma ewose edi. Pay Angel D2MR aba masikamania aye memremre esanse emfa hu biem ni bia wo ana ejumako a oni omudin sa woso no ewo. Ye yintem ginafo nyine firi ho na yama wadi dwa na wamma ne sika ntem so eni ahotoso mu. Hwehwɛ Pay Angel kira kwan ewo Google Play Store ana Apple Store. Tua mo direct. Neka se Pay Angela. Now what is say global payments, local simplicity.
Thank you very much for staying with us and welcome back. Gentlemen, I'm going to give you two minutes to touch on this so we wrap up for the night. And let me start with Mr. Roger, since you are wearing fugu. The president has made fugu go wild last week. I mean, it has become a national thing. And what do you think? Do you think that is being, how are we going to project more of this made in Ghana products to the world for them to see that, yes, these are kind of the things that we have in our country?
Yeah, thank you. First and foremost, I want to say it's a very good practice.
Mr. Roger, can you amplify your voice a bit? Your voice is a bit down.
First and foremost, I want to say that this is a very good initiative. Even though presidents in time past have exhibited the rich Ghanaian culture across the globe, when we look at videos or footages of the late president, I mean the first president of Ghana, Dr. Kwame Nkrumah, he was always in Fugu, in and out of Africa. The late president, Jerry John Rawlings, I see a lot of his pictures in Fugu. And then, I mean, our current president, I mean, Akufo-Addo has been in Fugu as well. I mean, the current president, he's been wearing Fugu in his first term in office, and then the current term he's been wearing. But then the idea of making it go viral is very important because we need to deliberately create a cultural identity from where we come from, especially those of you in the diaspora. I think if every Wednesday you rock your Fugu, people will be wondering what kind of attire is this, where is it coming from? And then it's going to put the name of the country on the globe. When I say that, I don't mean Ghana is not on the globe, but what I'm trying to say is that it will bring public attention to us, and a lot of people would want to know about how it is made, how it came about, and it's one way or the other selling our culture to the world. As for me, Fugu is something I love to do on Fridays. But now that the president has announced that we should do it on Wednesday too, as a matter of fact, I'll comply and make sure our cultural identity heritage is
Thank you
true.
very much. Thank you. Hi, Mr. David. Leadership by example. Should the ministers or the parliamentarians wear this so that the whole world will see that this is something that we mean business about?
Yes, sure. I think they should. On the matter of made in Ghana, where in itself, for a very long time, all our Ghanaian presidents, both past and present, have done really, really well with it. I remember Kufuor brought in the Friday where everyone wears some sort of traditional attire or Ghanaian made fabric, and it has come to stay. When you're in Ghana, you see a lot of people wearing it as normal. And with the fugu, for example, I think the president was really smart in rather than allowing it to pass like as a troll, he ended up uh, jumping on it and making it go viral. So I think it was really, really smart with it. And I think it's something that we all need to embrace and be proud of because fugu is one beautiful fabric or cloth that uh, if you see how they make it before they sew it into the fugu dress itself, it's amazing. It's just like weaving the kente. Is it's amazing how they do it. So I think yeah, going viral, it's always it is good. If you look in our parliament, they already wear traditional wear. The speaker in the last parliament, the last two parliaments, and now has done tremendous, but also introducing the Ghanaian attire into the parliament. So yes, slowly we will get there. Yeah, yeah, I think it's
Thank you
positive.
very much. Thank you. Mr. Ransford, any last words on fugu so we wrap up?
Yeah, I think it's a step in the right direction. I mean, the wearing of fugu started way back from the days of Kwame Nkrumah. You realize that during his pronouncement of Ghana having independence, they all had this fugu going on with them. So, I mean, it's not like it's something new in the system. It's something that has been there already. But the president, which is John Dramani Mahama, was very smart about it to have turned what was supposed to be a throw into something that has actually, put Ghana on the map, as to Fugu and all that. So yes, asking ministers and MPs to wear Fugu, especially on a Wednesday, it's not a bad idea at all. I think it's a step in the right direction. Also, I believe that the government should start thinking of putting in place certain, measures that will also help the fugu production, the production of fugu, you understand? Because now that it has become a uniform, a Wednesday wear uniform, the demand is definitely going to go up. And also they should find a way that they can, produce this fugu more and also make sure that the prices come down so that the ordinary Ghanaian can also afford it. Because that's the only way we are going to be pushing these things out there. If you produce it and the people cannot afford it, then it does not work. So yes, we are in step in the right direction. Let's just
Thank
make sure that we have the right, measures in place to ensure that we are able to meet the demand, when it starts coming. Yes. So
thank
yes,
you
thank
very
you.
much. Thank you. Thank you, viewers, and thank you so much, gentlemen, for joining in the show today. Thank you for your insights, sharing your experiences about the matters involving or the matters in our economy. We
Sorry to
believe
cut you,
that
but there's
Ghana.
something I want to say, for 2 seconds, please. Okay, so yes, on behalf of Honorable Kennedy Ohinia Japan, we'd like to say a big thank you to all delegates who voted for us and those who didn't vote for us. We are saying a big thank you to you all, and that yes, he continues to carry the dream of Ghana and whatever things that he's had in his mind. Yes, he's looking forward to making it happen. So yes, let's just watch out for Honorable Kennedy Japan. He's coming. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much for sharing your experience and insights. Thank you so much for joining me here in the studios. And to our viewers, thank you for staying tuned. Thank you so much for sharing. Thank you for the love that you have shown supporting this platform. Remember, it is always conversation beyond borders. And so until next week, You will see us same time, Sunday, 5 p.m. Good night.
You've been gone, it's an empty home. Come on back where you really belong. You are always welcome home, welcome home. You've been kept down for much too long. Stand up, please, and say I am free. Don't forget you are welcome home, welcome home. Come with me on this happy trip